Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Continuing our top 15 series, we've got something special lined up for you today. I know so many of you have been asking for a customer reviews analysis for this one. Well, we're finally doing it. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details. Let's begin by examining the insights provided by our first reviewer.
This reviewer found this mouse to be exceptionally lightweight, with all the buttons and the scroll wheel feeling satisfying to use. Despite its all-plastic construction, the device feels sturdy and well-made. Our reviewer particularly loved the integrated thumb rest, noting it was a significant factor in choosing this specific model. The standout feature for this client, and the main reason for the purchase, was the complete absence of mandatory software. The mouse is truly plug-and-play. You can connect it to any computer, and all of its settings will work immediately because they are stored directly on the device. For anyone wanting to make adjustments, there's a web portal available on the manufacturer's website that allows for direct customization. This approach is a massive advantage, especially for users on operating systems like Linux, who are often overlooked by peripheral companies that don't produce compatible software. However, the experience wasn't without a few frustrations. Our reviewer noted that the mouse comes with 5 fixed DPI stages, with no option to add, remove, or deactivate any of them. It's also not possible to bind a button to cycle through different user profiles, which seems like a strange oversight. Furthermore, the web customization portal only functions on Chromium-based browsers, so it won't work with Firefox. This client also struggled to get the wireless customization feature to work, having to connect the mouse with its cable to make any changes. For Linux users specifically, an extra setup step involving a UDEV rule is necessary to allow the browser to connect to the hardware. Despite these quirks, this client is ultimately satisfied with this mouse and will be sticking with it for the foreseeable future.
Let's start with our first reviewer's experience.
This reviewer stumbled upon this particular mouse while searching for a lightweight alternative to a much heavier, ergonomically similar device they had been using for years. Having found very few reviews online, the purchase was a bit of a leap of faith, influenced mainly by the promise of a familiar shape and a positive past experience with another product from the same unmentioned manufacturer. From the moment it was unboxed, this client was completely blown away. Despite having tested nearly 30 different mice over the past several years, they consider this one to be perhaps the best value they have ever encountered. Every detail seems to have been thoughtfully executed. The clicks feel crisp and sound pleasant, the side buttons are perfectly sized and positioned for easy access, and the scroll wheel has a great tactile feel. The build quality is remarkably solid, with a sturdy shell that exhibits no flex, and the surface coating provides a secure grip that our reviewer found even better than some popular mainstream options. Even the stock feet glide smoothly right out of the box, and the buttons for adjusting performance settings are implemented in a very user-friendly way. This initial impression has held up remarkably well over time. After a year of intense daily use, including long work days and heavy-clicking gaming marathons, the mouse performs just as flawlessly as it did on day one. It has proven to be incredibly durable and reliable under constant pressure. Our reviewer genuinely has no complaints and continues to be impressed by the sheer quality offered. They stand by their initial assessment, concluding that the company has produced an amazing piece of hardware that, for some reason, seems to fly completely under the radar.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
The reviewer was honestly surprised by this mouse. It fills a niche that seems almost empty, lightweight, ergonomic, and packing extra programmable buttons. Most ergonomic mice feel like bricks, making them useless for fast-paced FPS games. On the other hand, the super-light gaming mice usually stick to the basics, but wise. This client found this one strikes a nice balance, feeling comfortable in the hand whether using a palm or fingertip grip, and offering that valuable extra button. Essentially, our reviewer sees this mouse as perfect for someone who games, especially FPS games, but also wants something decent for productivity. It's not necessarily the absolute best at either, but it's a solid compromise. One thing this reviewer would suggest is to save your money and stick with the 1K polling rate. The 8K setting just doesn't seem worth it. Now, it's not perfect. The material quality does feel a bit on the cheaper side, and the reviewer isn't a huge fan of the Huano switches. They're more reliable, sure, but they also require a bit more force to click. On the plus side, the scroll wheel and side buttons feel fantastic and are easy to reach. If you're sensitive to noise, be aware that these switches are definitely on the louder side.
And that's it.
If this video helped, hit like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.